Since we both have the whole day off, I'm going to have some fun with you, I say as I come up behind you. Would you like to be had fun with? You smile, and your heart starts to beat a little faster as you turn around. Here it comes. You know that my use of the passive voice to describe the fun you'll be having is not an accident. You love it when I talk to you like that. I stand close to you, and you crane your neck to look up at me. You're currently standing at your normal height of 5 feet tall, but you have a feeling you won't stay this height for long. Is there such a thing as normal height for you anymore? You've been shrunk so frequently and been so many different sizes, none of which were taller than 5 feet, that you've become accustomed to the feeling of shrinking. During the times when you're normal-sized and living a normal human life, which has been happening less and less frequently, you often experience the sensation of phantom shrinking. Like when an amputee's brain tricks them into thinking they can feel their left arm, even though they no longer have a left arm. Or when a cell phone user's brain tricks them into thinking their phone just vibrated against their leg, even though it's turned off. Sometimes, even when you're tiny, you feel those momentary hallucinations. Even when you're a tiny, helpless little fraction of the petite person you used to be, you're expecting to shrink even smaller at any second. You're constantly off balance. You know that you're completely mine now, physically, mentally, and emotionally. It feels so good to surrender. You wonder if I'm going to be nice to you or mean to you this time. You love it when I'm mean, and you love it when I'm nice. You love it when I flip back and forth between the two. You love not knowing. You can never get enough, and your little brain can't handle it. So it's probably a good thing that I call the shots. Otherwise, you'd probably just be a tiny, indecisive, blabbering little mess. I open my mouth as if I'm about to say something. Then I pause for a full 30 seconds, knowing that it makes you crazy and that the suspense is killing you. You bite your lip as you enjoy being towered over, knowing that the tower is probably about to skyrocket even higher. Your eyes get big as I lower my face to almost touch yours, and I say, "You're going to lose height every time you blush, every time your face flushes. Not a lot of height, just a little bit each time." You feel your cheeks get warm, and you immediately shrink. Looking up, you guess that you've lost about an inch. You realize what's happened, and you fight the urge to cover your face with your hands. You shrink again, just a little bit. "Don't fret, my little one," I tease you. "I'll take care of you, no matter how small you get." You imagine how small you're going to get, and you shrink again. I laugh, then hug you and hold you close to me. Then I put my hand under your chin and tilt your face up toward mine. I lean in to kiss you, and my lips land directly on your eyelid. You know I did that on purpose. "Oops," I continue taunting you. "I missed." "Sorry, it's just that I'm used to your lips being higher off the ground. You're really throwing off my aim here." Another shrinking spurt. "Ah well, no kisses for you. I guess you're beneath me now." Shrink. "You know what I've always wondered?" I ask. "What is fun size anyway? Like, what's the cutoff point for fun size? How small does a girl have to get before she becomes fun to play with? This calls for a scientific experiment. I'll let you know when I'm having fun." "Yes, sir," you smile up at me. "I want to be fun for you. I don't care how small I am, or how small I get. I consent. You stand on tiptoe and try unsuccessfully to kiss me, deliberately emphasizing your decreased height. Then you jump up and try to reach my lips. "Aw, crap," I respond. "It's no fun if you consent. Way to ruin it." I preemptively revoke the fun-size designation that you would have gotten if you had been a good girl. You stick out your lower lip and pout. You slowly scrunch up your face to look more pitiful. "Gah!" I recoil. "Those facial expressions of yours aren't normally so startling. They usually look so much more subtle. But that's probably because every facial expression is a lot more subtle when it's on a face the size of a grape. Shrink." I pick you up underneath your shoulders and hold you above the floor. I'm just going to hold you like this and watch as your feet get farther and farther away from the ground. Struggle as much as you want, you little bitty thing. Shrink, shrink, shrink. You wiggle your little painted toes helplessly as you look down at them and watch the world expand around you. You sometimes wonder why you even bother painting them, since they're usually too small for anyone to notice the paint job. Stop blushing, you tell yourself. Just enjoy this feeling for a little longer. I think I'm just going to carry you around like a stuffed animal for the rest of the day, I continue, and squeeze you every so often. That'll be fun. My little teddy bear. Teeny bear. Tadpole bear. Shrink. "Please, I need hugs," you start to beg. "It's pathetic how completely whipped you are," I say. "You're so easy to mess with. This is going a little too easily." Shrink. I wonder if I should slow down the rate of shrinking so that I can really drag this process. Shrink. Shrink. Out. Time passes. Sometime later, you've gotten smaller, slowly and surely. You're no bigger than any of my fingers. I'm sitting at the table, holding you between a finger and thumb, treating you like a little plaything. "My dear, it seems like your face is getting entirely too hot. Let me help you cool down." I dangle you over a glass of water for dramatic effect, then drop you into it. You shriek. Taking my time, I lift the glass and drink from it. You feel yourself shrink again. The rate of your shrinking has slowed considerably as you've gotten smaller and smaller. You're definitely not losing a full inch of height each time, like you were at the beginning. By now, there's a lot less of you, which means there's a lot less of you to shrink. The amount of height you lose, with each downward adjustment, seems to get proportionally smaller along with you. I continue drinking the water around you, then finally move the glass away from my mouth, hold it upright, and peer down into it. You topple into the bottom of the glass, into the little bit of water remaining in it, which is about half an inch deep. That's half an inch from the giant's perspective, but much deeper from your tiny perspective. I absent-mindedly slosh the water around in the glass, and you along with it. I call out to no one in particular, and the surface of the glass around you amplifies the sound of my already huge voice. "Waiter, 1 martini, please. Sorry, I meant martini. Shaken, not stirred." I slosh the water in the glass one more time for good measure, and look down at you. "Also, waiter, there seems to be a fly in my soup." Water is basically soup, right? You shrink, and shrink again. I put the glass down on the table with a decisive thud, and stare at you with a smug smile on my face. "This is just way too cute," I say. "I should keep you like this, and put you in a glass all the time, so I can admire your tiny beauty." You feel hot, and the most intense blush you've experienced so far washes over you. You feel yourself shrink. This isn't fair. Your giant really knows how to push your buttons. More time passes, and sometime much later, you're lying on the table, completely worn out. You're desperately trying to catch your breath after the emotional day you've been having. And then you see a huge white thing appear in front of you. It's a giant tube. Your eyes follow it up and up, all the way to the giant's mouth. It's a straw. After all this time, you're now tiny enough to fit inside a straw. The opening is wider than you are tall. You scream as the straw moves toward you, and you're immediately sucked up into it. You scream louder as your journey through the straw suddenly stops, and your whole body hits something soft. It's happening almost too fast for you to process anything, but you think you're against my lips now. I must have sucked you up and closed my lips just enough so that you didn't fly into my mouth. I hold you in that position for a second, tilting you upward so that gravity holds you directly against my lips. Then the white plastic disappears from around you, and you shriek as you fall into my hand that's waiting underneath you. That was a kiss, I say. My titanic voice causes your bones to shake. You were pressed against my lips, so technically it was a kiss. I decided you had earned it. You cover your face with your hands as you feel yourself shrink. You wouldn't mind doing that again. Now, my dear little one, I continue, my adorable little speck, how many kisses would you like? And how many different ways should I do it? You shiver all over, and you're shrinking again. And there's a small part of you that hopes you never stop shrinking.